The Windsor Express signed a key member of their championship squad from 2013. LeBron James shocks the world again and signs with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'll visit where everyone else in the NBA is going to go now that King James has made his move. And the 2014 World Cup final between Germany and Argentina is Sunday afternoon. All these topics and more on this episode of Jock Talk. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Jock Talk, a NOXTROM digital media production. I am your host, Brett Hedges. Today will be a little bit basketball heavy, and we will visit the World Cup a little bit later. But don't worry, sports fans. We'll be visiting, talking Detroit Tigers baseball, as the All-Star game is coming up very soon, and we'll be visiting the Detroit Lions regular season opponents, as Mike Thomas and I will discuss the open practice that we attended last month and our predictions heading into the regular season. But on today's show, I have the privilege of interviewing a man who was a big piece of the Windsor Express's success in the NBL Canada regular season and playoffs. He was introduced yesterday at a press conference as the first player to re-sign with the Windsor Express, headed into the 2014-2015 regular season. The 6'9" center from Chicago, Illinois, Deandre Thomas. Trey, thank you very much. How
you doing, man?
Thank you very much for coming on the show today, and congratulations on re-signing with the Windsor Express. There was a beautiful press conference yesterday down at Blues Fest. And first of all, welcome back to Windsor. How important was it for you personally to come back and play for the defending NBLC champs, the Express?
It was important because I got a good relationship with Coach. Me and Daughters have a great relationship, but I love the city of Windsor and the fans in Windsor.
Mm-hmm. How has your offseason been like so far? You're currently playing ball in Chicago at the time, right?
Yeah, I play Chicago Shy League Pro-Am. It's a big tournament for Nike, and they take care of us the whole summer, and they do a good job of keeping the local players busy and working out and stuff like that with camps and all type of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chicago is a huge hub for basketball in Illinois, obviously, and you've played a lot of basketball in there, a lot of stuff during the summer, correct? Mm-hmm. Now, talking between Chicago and Windsor, you're going back and forth, only 4 hours from here. Are there any similarities between the two cities? In your opinion?
Probably, I think downtown Windsor is kind of like downtown Chicago because everybody tend to stay to themselves and just walk and just don't say nothing to nobody. And it's a very nice area, and that's the similarities I get. But Windsor ain't got no big cities. No big buildings.
Yeah. The reason I say that is because I believe that you epitomize the Windsor sports aspect of your ability. Mm-hmm. Now, is that the kind of team that you like to play on? Tough, physical, but skilled?
Yeah, growing up, all my teams, we was tough. You had to be tough because we want the best teams, and we didn't have the best players. Just probably had a couple of good players, but everybody else was short, probably like 5'9", 5'7". I was probably the biggest one, so everybody just had to play grit ball and try to be grimy and physical and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I say basketball here and basketball in the States, where in Chicago is similar because you got to be tough to play on Coach Jones' team.
Mm-hmm. Now, yeah, obviously, that's the kind of mantra that has been following this team ever since you guys began, and it's a big reason why you guys won the championship last year. So, have you reached out to any of your former teammates about returning to Windsor?
Talked to Duncan and RJ yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Tried to put a little bug in Duncan's ear about coming back. But just got to give everybody their own time and their own space. You can't pressure nobody because if it's not the best fit for them, it ain't going to be a good fit for nobody because it'll be a messed up season if people here and they don't want to be here. So you really can't pressure them. You got to let them come on their own.
Absolutely, I understand. Personally, where does winning the NBL championship in front of 3,500 Windsorites rank in your sports memories?
Good memories. But I'll put that probably third. Because playing in Chicago Public League, I played in front of a packed United Center. Like every seat was filled, playing against Derrick Rose and stuff like that. So I say third.
Yeah. Is there a lot of inner rivalry between guys in Chicago? You're always trying to push each other. I know that you and Quinnell Brown are both from Chicago, Chicago guys. Yeah. A few guys around the league are Chicago guys. Mm-hmm. Do you think that having that Chicago flavor is good for the league? Yeah,
because you're bringing the tough guys to the NBL Canada. Been trying to get a lot of Chicago guys in the league for the longest since Halifax was in the PBL and all the teams was in the PBL from Canada. It was a lot of Chicago guys on the what team was that? Quebec team. Quinnell, Royce Perrin, Aaron Spears. So I was the only guy basically on the East Coast in Halifax. Me and Tony Bennett. So it was tough. But now more guys from Chicago, like Dwight McCombs and guys like that, came and played. So it brings a lot of flavor back to from Chicago up here.
Mm-hmm. Now, how do you rate the growth of the league in just the amount of time that you've been here?
I've been playing in Canada for a while. Like I said, I played in Halifax, but the league is great now. It's getting better. We got a TV deal this year, more exposure. A lot of D1 kids coming to play right now. So being a veteran in the league, I think the league came a long way.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on the TV deal specifically? Is that huge?
That's huge for Canada. Because, in the States we got the NBA and stuff like that, and a lot of D1 basketball, great high-level basketball. So being on TV in Canada, everybody get to showcase their talent, and you get the Canadians get to showcase their talent and say they belong too. So it's good.
Are you excited to see the extra Canadian added to each roster?
Sure. Because I know the Canadians can play. The guy in London was Garrett Wilson. A great player. I'd like to see more Canadians like that. But going back to Halifax, I played with a couple of great Canadians, real good. Javon Shepard, he from Toronto. Gary G, Gary Gallimore, he from Ottawa. So I played with a lot of good Canadians. So yesterday, Zane Johnson played in the NBA Summer League. So
cool.
The Canadians coming around.
Awesome. Going into team now, is it a goal for this team to win another championship this year?
That's the only thing we can do by winning it last year. If we don't make it to the finals, it's a bust. So you got to come in this year ready to play in shape. Coach shouldn't have to say much to the veteran guys that's coming back. So we just got to be on the same page, and everybody got to be all in so we can go on this road to win another championship.
Mm-hmm. Now, you're making a couple appearances in Windsor, Essex County this week. You'll be at the Essex Fun Fest today. Where we'll be you'll be at the Essex Fun Fest from 1 till 3 today. And where will you be on Sunday?
I'll be at Blues Fest at 7 or early in the morning and to about 7 at night.
So anyone in the Essex area, if you're going to the Fun Fest, come over and see Deandre Thomas. And if you're going to Blues Fest tomorrow, make sure to visit the big man at the Liuna tent.
I'll be there tonight, too.
Oh, all right. Be there tonight. DeAndre Thomas working out, doing some blues, and enjoying the blues and enjoying Windsor and enjoying the summer the best he can. Thank you for coming down from Chicago. I really appreciate it. We're going to take a quick break and let DeAndre get on out to Essex, and we'll come back for the rest of Jock Talk with Brett Hedges.
Accelerator, and this is Brett Hedges, Jock Talk, Brett Hedges.
Welcome back to Jock Talk with Brett Hedges. I just finished a segment with Deandre Thomas of the Windsor Express, the first player re-signed by the defending National Basketball League of Canada champions, heading into their 2014-2015 season. Deandre Thomas will be at the Essex Fun Fest until 3 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, and he'll be at the Blues Fest later on Saturday night, and he'll be at the Blues Fest all day on Sunday as well. So if you guys are interested in visiting the Windsor Express tent in either of those locations, that's where they will be. And make sure to follow the Windsor Express on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, Windsor Express. So looking forward to working with them this year, and looking forward to watching all the crazy basketball that goes on in the National Basketball League of Canada. Moving on to another certain player who re-signed yesterday. Cue the Lion King. Cue the Lion King quotes. The King has returned. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. LeBron James has decided to return to the Cleveland Cavaliers after making the NBA Finals 4 years in a row with the Miami Heat. Not to mention he won 2 championships with that team as well. Wow. I was confident that that LeBron would return to Cleveland, but it's still shocking considering the way that he was hated, he was ostracized only 4 years ago after making the decision on an ESPN 1-hour special to leave the city of Cleveland, his home, for Miami, the bright lights of South Beach. Well, I can't blame him for wanting to go home. I think this is more than a basketball move. I think this is purely to do with himself, him wanting to play in front of his hometown, and wanting to be in Northeast Ohio. He actually wrote a really, really powerful letter stating why he chose to go back to Cleveland. And in that letter it says, before anyone knew that I could play basketball, Northeast Ohio is where I was from. It's where I walked, it's where I bled, that's where I played ball, and no one knew who he was until he was about 16, 17. Little known fact is that the year before he was drafted, his high school senior team was suspended for the year due to, I'm not too sure, but they had to get a lawyer to be able to play their final year. So imagine if he wasn't even allowed to play his senior year. He might have been off at some college. He might have gotten hurt, and he might not be the most dominant player that we've ever seen. But LeBron will sign a max contract, is the highest amount of money allowed by the Cavs to offer him, which is 4 years and $88 million, which is simply chump change. But I'm just kidding. But now he's lined up with some of the best young players in the NBA, including Kyrie Irving, who's easily top 3, top 4, top 5 point guards in the NBA. We've got Tristan Thompson. We've got the Canadian trio of Tristan Thompson, Anthony Bennett, and of course Andrew Wiggins. He's got his favorite teammate, one of his favorite teammates, in Anderson Varejao, who is a defensive specialist and a good big man for him. And just everything that it seems that everything is going towards Cleveland's way. Now, if it should be easy to see what pieces of the puzzle in Cleveland will be shipped away for a chance at some championships in the current year or the next year. I'm looking at you, Kevin Love, in Minnesota. It should be interesting to see what kind of deals these two teams can get done before the regular season starts, but I'm not going to put a prediction on whether Kevin Love is going to go to the Cavs so far yet. But it should be fun to put on my LeBron James Cleveland Cavaliers jersey once again. I'm glad I didn't burn it down because it's pretty comfy and it's something that I like to show. And I'm really happy for LeBron. Really happy that he decided to make this decision for the state of Ohio and the region of Northeast Ohio. Akron boy going home. Cue the P. Diddy and Drake songs because LeBron's going home to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they are now instant favorites in the NBA to win the NBA championship this year. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Now, all we have to talk about is what the rest of the NBA is going to do now that LeBron James is now signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Everyone thought that Chris Bosh was going to go to the Rockets as soon as LeBron James decided where he was going to go, but that script flipped a few hours after LeBron James made his announcement. Pat Riley decided that he wanted to keep a little bit of that star power in Miami, and he kept Chris Bosh by signing him to a 5-year, $118 million contract. Now that's 1 year and $30 million more than LeBron James is making, and that is cause for a little bit of confusion because I understand that Chris Bosh is a very good player, probably going to be one of the best, probably going to be a Hall of Famer, but $23.6 million a year for a guy who's on the latter part of his career. It's not my decision for sure, but I'm sure that Chris Bosh could play another 5 years for sure. And whether or not though there's certain clauses that those contracts have, he might not get all that money. It should be interesting to see how much guaranteed money is in those contracts as well. And Carmelo Anthony, that's another great story for the league. He's narrowed his two choices down to the Bulls and the Knicks apparently. And it depends on what happens in the next couple of days to see who else goes to the Bulls that will influence Carmelo Anthony. Overall, I think he will stay in New York because he is a New York guy. I believe he'll stay there. He could win a championship with the Knicks if they put the right pieces around him. They have Derek Fisher as their new head coach, Phil Jackson as their team president, who's got a really good philosophy when it comes to basketball. So it's wishy-washy. Tom Thibodeau is more of a defensive coach in Boston. In Chicago, pardon me. And I just don't think it's the right fit. Obviously, Derrick Rose is an appealing piece to add to the puzzle, but I don't think it's going to work. I think Carmelo's going to stay in New York. They're going to build pieces around him, and they're going to build that team into a championship team within the next 3 to 5 years, because Carmelo is still young, to say the least. Okay, heading forward now. And then, by the way, if you guys have any free agency questions, concerns, you can contact me on Twitter. We can talk about it, and if we have any other good questions or good points, I'll bring them up on the next edition of Jock Talk. So make sure to follow me on Twitter. UNDRG, or follow NOXTROM, NOXTROM1, NOXTROM, NOXTROM, or visit our YouTube page, NOXTROM1, for all of our prior episodes of Jock Talk, and we can rehash what's been going on. If you have some good discourse, we can talk it out. We can have some questions, and if it's really good, we might be able to get you on the show and talk about that. So, heading forward, no more basketball. We're going to talk the World Cup of football. Yes. And, of course, the finals are this Sunday, but I'm going to talk about the semifinals that happened the other day, because they were two completely different games. Germany-Brazil, many thought would be the clash of the Titans, ended up being David versus Goliath. Germany came out hard, and they scored 3 goals within 6 minutes, and they were up 5-0 before half, 5-0 before half. Nothing that Brazil could do in the second half. They did end up getting on the board right as stoppage time of the second half expired, and the final score was 7-1. I don't think anyone saw that coming. I don't think anyone thought that Neymar was that big of a presence for Brazil, but obviously without your top player, everyone has to try a little bit harder. And it seems as though that Germany was just one step ahead of Brazil the entire day. So, congratulations to Germany. They're going on to the final. The third place game, I believe, is today. So, best of luck to Brazil. The other semifinal was the Netherlands versus Costa Rica. Netherlands versus Argentina. Pardon me. I don't know why I said Costa Rica. Argentina came away in penalty kicks, 4-2. It was a very exciting game. Very exciting 0-0. And I was really excited to see that Argentina won. A South American, if it was an all-European final, I think it would have been a little bit disappointing. But now that there's a South American team, Argentina, in the final, I believe that this will be a very, very good game. But although I believe that Germany will come away, I believe it'll be 3-1, maybe 2-1. I don't think Argentina is going to have enough to conquer Germany. I believe they'll score a goal. I believe Messi will have an impact, but I don't think it's going to be big enough to displace Germany from winning the World Cup. So that's my prediction. Germany 3-1 in tomorrow afternoon's game. I hope Argentina proves me wrong, because then, of course, there's more things to talk about in the upcoming future. Those are my points about the World Cup, and now I'd just like to put out a personal feel on it. My player's choice of the World Cup definitely has to be Costa Rica. They one team that definitely not overachieved, but surprised a lot of people when they did what they did, especially in the opening game against Uruguay. Congratulations, Costa Rica. You guys are a great football country, soccer country, and I believe that that the program is building. Here's hoping that Canada can put together a team in the next 10 years, and we can finally have an entry into the World Cup. Soccer Canada has put in a bid to host the 2026 World Cup. 2026, and it should be interesting to see what the growth of the national program is like in the next couple years. Pardon me. Everything. Well, seems like I've covered everything and more. Deandre Thomas, I really want to thank him for coming out. You can make sure to follow him on Facebook, Deandre Thomas. Follow the Windsor Express on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. They've all got that social media stuff, and they put up some good stuff all the time. Make sure to visit the Windsor Express website, to visit about future camps. They have some summer camps for kids this summer, and it should be interesting to see how the NBL Canada regular season goes. Cut it down to 32 games, but they've added another Canadian. It should be really, really fun. Anything to add, Alex?
All good.
All good. I'm sorry to hear about Mexico. I wanted to say that earlier. I'm sorry. It's okay. There's always next time. They still have the best coach in World Cup. So.
Yeah, they did good.
Exactly. From everyone here at the downtown Windsor Business Accelerator Building and then the BizX Lounge, from everyone at NOXTROM Digital Media, we'd like to thank you for joining us today for this special edition of Jock Talk.
And at one, we have Shay and Nancy and Zaptis from Windsor Business Network.
That's right. And make sure to stay on this channel to watch Shay Rochelle's first edition of Beyond Incredible for the absent Ashley Nicole. We miss you, Ashley. We'll see you very, very soon. And from all of us here at NOXTROM, I'd like to say thank you for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll have some great content for you in the upcoming future. Make sure to visit the Convergence Report with Mike Thomas, Betty on the Go with Betty Goodell, and Beyond Incredible. So, from everyone here, enjoy your beautiful day, and we'll talk to you soon. Enjoy.